Hey there, I'm Caden Rains and welcome to my basement. Since it's spooky month, we're going to take a short break from the villains of the Shelvening and instead take a look at a character who does not like spooky month and any of the creatures you're likely to find there. That being Shaggy from Scooby-Doo, specifically the newer Jada Toy Lines version. He's part of Wave 1, the other two members of each wave being villains slash monsters slash, rich people trying to get richer. For the most part, I'm only going to get the main gang outside of some very specific villains here and there. Like Scooby is in Wave 2 along with the Space Kook, and the Space Kook is my all-time favorite Scooby villain, so when that comes out, I will be getting that. But, like, Daphne is at Wave 3, and neither of the villains in that really strike my fancy. So we're not going to get all of the Scooby figures by any means, but we're going to get a couple, one or two from each wave generally, starting with this one. So let's break Shaggy out of the box and then take a look at all that he has going for him. So here is Shaggy unpackaged. I think he's a pretty good-looking rendition of the character. There are little things here and there, appearance-wise, that I think could be tweaked, but it mostly has to do with the construction, and that's not something I'm an expert on, so maybe it couldn't be tweaked, who knows. But he comes with 4 hands total. The carrying ones, the default ones, which allow him to hold the box of Scooby snacks and the single Scooby snack that he's got out there. He then has these hands out, well, like open-handed ones that I think would be like if he's scared and you're putting the hands out like to run away or something. That's what they're for. So I won't be keeping those. I won't be swapping them out because I plan to make him chowing down with some other figures when I get stuff set up. But speaking of chowing down, I kind of wish this was his alternate head here was how do I want to say this, was a hungry face instead of a scared one. And you wouldn't even have to change much. It's really just like the eyebrows or even just close the eyes. I figure if his eyes were closed, then it'd be easier to make it look like he was just eating or scared. But despite Shaggy's state of being normally being scared, I really don't want to have that as my setup. I know it'll work for some people, but not for me. So here's, while I've got this head up though, this is one of the construction things I was talking about. If you're going to have him at an angle where you can see under his hairline, then you're going to see this big open space behind his hair. And I really wish that wasn't there, because when I was taking him out of the packaging, it's one of the first things I noticed. Not on this head, but on the main one. So maybe it's a little thing, but I don't know, I noticed it really easily. So, take that as you will. So you have options. Maybe they could be better options. Maybe that's just me, but there they are. I don't know if I would have put the single Scooby snack as an accessory. I feel like that's going to get lost no matter who you are at some point. But as for the figure itself, pretty good posability overall. His arms, he's got the double joint at the elbows and the knees, so you can get pretty good range of motion on him. He also has ankle movement, and up here by his thigh, I guess, can also twist side to side. So you can get a lot of movement, and because he's got these slits in his shirt, he can also pose him that without bending anything. So, maybe you can get some Ultra Instinct Shaggy poses going on. I don't think this was a pose he did when he was Ultra Instinct Shaggy, but you can get that. There's a lot of figures that don't have that range of motion. So the fact that he can do it is pretty neat. And he's also got a pseudo joint at the base of his neck in addition to the top of it. So you can get an extra range of motion there. So I feel like this is probably one of the best Shaggy figures they've ever made. Again, I wish under his head looked better, but I know that's such a little thing, and I'm not even going to think about it once he's posed. So it's not really a problem. It really isn't. But it was just, I noticed it so quickly. So utterly quickly that I was just surprised by it. I will forget it in like 10 minutes, but at the moment, it was really noticeable for me. But I do feel like he's a good sign of things to come for these Jada Scooby-Doo toys, action figures, whatever you want to call them. So I'm looking forward to Wave 2 with Scooby coming out, and like I said, the Space Kook. I kind of wish Velma was coming out in Wave 3 instead of Daphne, but maybe they know the internet likes Velma more. Well, certain Velmas more. And they're saving that to make sure they get a full 5 waves out before they start doing alternate versions or something. Because there's way more than 10 Scooby villains. So I imagine when they get to Wave 6, should it keep selling and other situations staying a pseudo constant, that maybe we'll get like Red Shirt Shaggy, or maybe some of the, at least, even if they're the same general molds, maybe like with the faces and stuff, maybe some characters that are versions from like Mystery Inc. or 13 Ghosts or something where the clothes might change, but they wouldn't have to change the entire mold. But again, I don't really know the entire process. I'm just kind of talking of what-if-isms. So for now, I'm going to say if you like Scooby-Doo and you don't mind the $30-ish price tag, which I wish it was lower. That is probably the biggest drawback to these figures. And I know that's not entirely Jada's fault, but it's not entirely not their fault. So whatever, take that as you will. It's another reason I'm not going to bother with some of the villains, because like the mummy that's part of Wave 1, it's a mummy. And I've seen the episode it's from, and it's like, okay. If I wanted a mummy, I can probably find a cheap action figure mummy somewhere cheaper than $30. So I'm going to hold out for ones that I actually care about. And like I said, the first villain that I will get from the Scooby-Doo will be with Scooby in Wave 2. But for now, let's find Shaggy a place on the shelf. It won't be a permanent place because the hero shelf, quote unquote, hasn't really been started yet. I just wanted to get Shaggy out for Spooky Month. So we're going to take him, his Scooby snacks, and his single Scooby snack, and find him a place on the shelf to hang out until we have an actual spot for him. So let's go see where that can be. And here we have Shaggy at this little table I found at Hobbit Lobbit, snacking down. I plan to have that along with some other hungry characters at this table in what will kind of be the turtle lair area when I get to the hero shelf. But for now, he's just off to the side, down from Bowser, Skeletor, and so on. That is definitely not where he's going to stay, because this is still the villain shelf. So for now, he's just hanging here, and hopefully he doesn't get spooked by this little Mimikyu I found that I just felt should hang out with Shaggy for now. If I was going to put the scared face on, that's where I'd have him running from the little guy. But how do you like the Shaggy Rogers Jada figure? Do you have him? Do you like him? If you have him and don't like him, tell me why. If you have him and want him, I found him on Amazon. I haven't actually seen him in stores. I don't really have a lot of luck in stores very often anymore, so what you're going to do. But let me know down below what you think. Who else do you think would be good chow mates along with Shaggy? Besides Scooby, because he'll come along eventually. But for now, I hope you had a good time in my basement, and I'll see you in the next one.